In today's news, approximately 120 healthcare workers affected by COVID, with the ministry assessing contingency plans to address those existing gaps.
Youth Pilot Port Education Program has officially been launched at the BVI Ports Authority.
And Palesa Caesar sets new national under-18 discus record and qualifies for the 49th edition of the CARIFTA Games.
Additionally, COVID-19 Rapid Test Center has been located at the TB Lettsome International Airport at Beef Island, and Mrs. Harrigan-Underhill has been appointed as the first director of the HLSCC's Institute of Education. All this and so much more after a word from our sponsors. You're watching 284 News.
The wait is over. CCT Fire is here. Experience ultra-fast downloads, seamless streaming, and even more reliable connectivity on an all-new fire-blazing super-fast CCT Fiber network. CCT Fire. Bring it home and upgrade today.
Welcome everybody. It's Wednesday, January 12th, 2022. A happy Wednesday to each and every one of you. We are coming to you live and direct from the Virgin Islands. I'm Ron Grant.
And viewers, I'm Kamal Haynes. And we start today's newscast on the subject of COVID-19, where the total number of healthcare workers affected by the current COVID-19 spike in the territory have increased to approximately 120. But this was confirmed by the Minister for Health, Carvin Malone, during a recent interview with 284 News, where the minister said at the time that the number of positive cases rose to 120 from the previously announced 109, which was disclosed during a press conference last Friday. Well, during the interview, Minister Malone said that 40 of the previously announced 109 healthcare workers were clinical staff, with 37 nurses and 3 doctors. Well, he said the healthcare system has been feeling the effects of this present spike in the territory, with several operations across the territory affected.
It did have an effect because, remember, we had to, it affected operations in the Eastern Longlook Clinic, the 2 clinics. It affected operations in North Sound. It affected operations all throughout. We had to suspend the administration of vaccines in the Nurse Harrison Clinic. So yes, all throughout the territory, we were affected by it, and we continue to be.
Well, Malone, who is also a territorial at-large representative, further said that his ministry has been assessing several contingency plans to ensure there are no huge gaps within the BVI's healthcare system during this present spike. Well, he said that a number of the present positive cases are scheduled to undergo testing this week and could likely return to their respective roles once testing negative.
Some of them are registered nurses, so you don't replace those very easily. So we do have some challenges that are immediately ahead of us, but we're working and the ones that are there are working around the clock to make sure that we give the support and services to people who require their help. We're looking in terms of what will be required. Some of them would be testing early this week. So we're gonna look to actually supplement and to see how best we hold. But yes, we have to look at contingency plans as we go. So more will come out on that in early order.
In the meantime, Minister Malone appealed to residents and businesses across the territory to adhere to the existing COVID-19 protocols in the interest of the territory. Well, he said that the key is in allowing the BVI to return to low levels of active positive cases.
This is why I wish you can use your medium to actually appeal to people to lessen the parties, lessen the violations, and adhere to all protocols, because, as I mentioned, lives and livelihoods are being put at risk, and we need to have the people not only to be motivated by how much fine they can get or whether or not they're people who are severely ill. They just need to go ahead and follow the protocols and let's get through this period.
Well, viewers, that was the Minister for Health, the Honorable Carvin Malone.
Viewers, on the matter continuing of COVID-19 in the British Virgin Islands, a COVID-19 Rapid Test Center has been established at the TB Lettsome International Airport, Beef Island, BVI. Now, acting managing director of the BVI Airports Authority, Mr. Keith L. Flax, made the announcement on behalf of the Board of Directors. Now, viewers, the agency is informing the general public of the following. 1. A rapid test center at the Terrence B. Lettsome International Airport for the testing of COVID-19 virus. Said testing is available to everyone in the territory. Results are verified by a local medical practitioner. Results are guaranteed within 15 minutes, they say. There are no long lines. There are no wait times, no long wait times, that is. The daily operational hours of the testing center, which is situated on the first floor in the terminal, are 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. The cost per test is $85, and you may register to take your test at covidtestbviaa.com. That's covidtestbviaa.com/COVID test. Now, the agency may be reached additionally at 394-8000. That's 394-8000, or alternately at 442-1500. Now, the testing center is the latest in the efforts of the Airports Authority as it works in tandem with the government of the Virgin Islands to really address the rise in the number of cases of the coronavirus whilst maintaining safety, which they say is their #1 priority. We are continuing on the local scene. The British Virgin Islands Ports Authority has started a very interesting and new initiative that focuses on teaching students in the Virgin Islands about port functions, international trade, and maritime careers. Now, the BVI Ports Authority has launched its new port education program, which aims to engage students in educational outreach at various age levels. It is a resource for primary and secondary students and an online learning tool that addresses the themes of what is ports, the BVI Ports Authority's 3 main business anchors, the career partners, agencies, and much more. Students will hopefully gain a greater understanding in the maritime industry. Of course, they are asking persons to really support this initiative. It is called the Andy the Anchor Initiative. The program's mascot was designed and, of course, created to help raise awareness in regards to the diversity within the industries. Currently, 2 presentations are available, and teachers with additional ones are asked to really come forward. Kamal, this is by far a very interesting and I think a suitable initiative that will serve the territory, particularly our students in the primary and secondary level institutions. One of the things that we don't do enough of, I think, in the territory of the Virgin Islands is succession planning. We have a lot of lucrative careers, we have a lot of really substantial industries, but we don't always take the time to teach the generations that are coming up what these industries mean to us, what it entails to sustain a career within them. And I think this effort by the BVI Ports Authority, that is one that should be truly commended.
Indeed, and obviously, as the sailing capital of the Caribbean, it's obviously vital to fill...
Sailing capital of the world.
Sailing capital of the world. It's obviously vital to ensure that you have the necessary persons trained and well-versed when it comes to maritime jobs. So, therefore, when it comes to like 5 to 10 years from now, the government of the Virgin Islands would have to be outsourcing the necessary staff. They will have persons who are competent and well-trained to be able to fill those positions.
Beautiful.
Well, viewers, up next, Palesa Caesar sets new national under-18 discus record and qualifies for the 49th edition of the CARIFTA Games. And a day with the governor winners of the climate change competition announced. But these and more stories when 284 News return.
Is business slow, cash flow down, hosting an upcoming event? We can help. Advertise with 284 Media and take your business or event to the next level by enhancing your present marketing and messaging strategies. Allow our team of experts to create a personalized ad that sets your business apart from all the rest. This could be your business or event. So, what are you waiting for? Contact our marketing team at 284media@cctbvi.com. Advertising with us works.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's a brand new season of The Art of a Distinguished Gentleman, a show poised to help guide modern-day men into 21st century distinguished gentlemen. It doesn't always involve suits and, bow ties, but raw, real-life lessons that translate to grounded, community-minded, well-rounded men. This season, I'm taking you on an entirely different journey. From chefs to dancers, philanthropists, communications specialists, and much more. I'm heading outside in the field to share the journey of some of the BVI's best and brightest men. From East End to West End, Bojangada, Justin Lake, not forgetting Anigata. Our Virgin Islands gentlemen are doing the damn thing, and I'm so proud. Get ready to reason, reflect, and redirect. We are the movers and shakers of this generation, and we ain't afraid to show it. The Art of a Distinguished Gentleman, Season 3 by yours truly, Ron Grant, raising a generation of greatness.
Well, welcome back, viewers. Well, junior female athlete Palesa Caesar sets a new under-18 girls discus national record after surpassing the 40-meter mark, which also qualified her for the upcoming CARIFTA Games in Kingston, Jamaica. Well, Caesar made the historic toss at the recently concluded Di Samuels Development Meet Series No. 1, which took place at the A.O. Shirley Recreational Grounds on Saturday, January 8th. Well, she tossed the implement distance of 40.18 meters, beating her previously set national record of 39.9 meters, which was initially set back in January 2020. Well, the record toss also saw her surpassing the BVI's CARIFTA Games qualifying mark of 37 meters to become the third BVI athlete to qualify for the Games in April. Well, she joins Julie Kroll and Jakaila Martin as the third BVI athlete to make the BVI's CARIFTA Games qualifying mark for 2022. Well, 284 News subsequently caught up with the president of the BVI Athletics Association, Steve Augustine. Well, he said that the local athletes will be looking forward to this year's CARIFTA Games since they were unable to compete at the Games over the last 2 years due to its being cancelled as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic.
It's been a while since we've had the CARIFTA Games in the Caribbean. It's been put off for the past 2 years, primarily because of COVID-19. Jamaica, Team Jamaica, the LOC in Jamaica, has verified to us that it is their intention to host the Games this year, and we're looking forward to attending. The athletes are all eager for competition. We know that they will do well once we travel over to Jamaica. And as president of the association, I've said this years upon years, and I'm definitely saying the same thing this year. The kids, they've been lacking competition for quite some time. So as president of the association, it's my intention to get our kids to the point where we can carry a sizable delegation over to Jamaica. I think it's only fitting. Of course, from an athletic standpoint, it is our intention to create opportunities for the athletes with the hopes that they would each gain a collegiate scholarship or scholarship to attend college in the U.S.
Well, while only 3 athletes have so far qualified for the Games under the BVI's CARIFTA Games qualifying standards, President Augustine said that the aim is to carry a delegation of at least 20 athletes to represent the BVI over in Jamaica.
I've had talks with my association members, and we're hoping that we can get those numbers somewhere close to 20 plus or minus athletes. Of course, the CARIFTA Games, we do have the BVI CARIFTA Games qualifying standards, but there are no qualifying standards that's set by the CARIFTA Games LOC. We set those in the BVI because we want to see our athletes go over and do great. But part of attending the CARIFTA Games is that you must understand the CARIFTA Games is a development type meet, and therefore there must be room in there for development opportunities for our athletes. So of course we're going to push the athletes to ensure that they qualify for the Games, and then we're going to take a second look at those athletes who are on the bubble, and we'll make a decision based on merit as to whether or not we can take some additional athletes over to the Games so that they can get a fair chance to compete as well. But as a general number, we're looking, plus or minus 20. I'm hoping that it's more than 20 because our numbers, as I've said before, our numbers continue to mushroom. So we've got quite a bit of athletes that can make the standards, that will make the standards, and will be on the bubble of making the standards. So by all indications, again, we should have a sizable team traveling over to Jamaica.
Well, viewers, the 49th CARIFTA Games are scheduled for April 16th to 18th. We here at 284 News want to commend Caesar and those other athletes who have so far basically qualified for the CARIFTA Games. All the best in those upcoming games. Absolutely.
Continue the remarkable work, and that too of the BVI Athletics Association. Viewers, continuing on the local scene, Alexa Hodge and Hanan Bazaz, Elmore Stout High School, Ashella Hearn, Cedar International, and Sarah Ramdat, St. George's Secondary have been selected as the 3 winning entries of the Day with a Governor competition. Now, the climate change competition was launched in October of 2021 and truly invited students within the Virgin Islands aged 12 to 17 to submit a 90-second video on climate change on the following topics. Why is the tackling of climate change important for the VI? What can I do to stop climate change? And what are the solutions to climate change? 31 entries in total were received, and 3 winners were selected based on their videos, creativity, as well as their understanding of climate change, its causes, potential impacts, and suggestions on how Virgin Islands can play its part. Now, viewers, the students' prize will be able to spend a day with His Excellency Governor John Ranking and the Honorable Vincent Wheatley, Minister for Natural Resources and Labor, visiting local green initiatives. This will include the solar hub at the Leonora Delva Primary School and a mangrove project at the H. Lavery Stout Community College. There will also be an opportunity for the winners to share their views and suggestions on how the VI can build its green credentials in the near future. Now, His Excellency Governor John Ranking said that he was pleased to launch the competition to hear from the next generation. He said, and I quote, "I am delighted by the number and quality of video entries we received. They demonstrated the passion of young people across the globe, including the VI, for tackling climate change." Now, Governor Ranking, viewers added, for the Virgin Islands, climate change impacts could range from longer, harsher hurricane seasons, a rise, of course, in sea levels. In addition to that, in the longer term, risk to our food and water security. Now, it's important that we all play our part to secure our survival and ensure, he said, a brighter future for our children. The Honorable Vincent Wheatley, Minister for Natural Resources and Labor, who is also the 9th District Representative, congratulated the winners and everyone who participated. He said in an official comment, the BVI has made important steps in tackling climate change and introducing green initiatives, but there is always more to do. I am pleased to support this initiative from the Governor to work together and spend the day with the students. The winning entries will be published on the Governor's Office Facebook page. We want to take this time to congratulate the students, Kamal, as we continue to navigate through the very difficult environmental challenges that we continue to face in our neck of the region. I think it's super important that we continue to introduce our students to the causes and effects of climate change and what their generation and what we all can do really to better secure our islands to make it as safe as possible for us.
I totally agree, and these initiatives are welcoming. I mean, if you look at the topics that you just mentioned just now, they're modern day topics, they're relatable to what is going on currently in the VI, where we look at the topics such as climate change, look at topics such as the COVID-19, and it basically helps to show, especially with this particular competition of climate change, that the children are educated, they know what is going on in the territory, they know what is going on in the world, and they're trying, and actually at this tender age, they're looking to implement solutions to how to best go about resolving these issues. And as we all know, children are the future of the territory, children are the future of the world, and by having these particular initiatives in place, what it does is it helps to groom these young children to be able to live a better path that would help even the younger generation that are looking up to those generations. Well, viewers, up next, Mrs. Harrigan-Underhill, appointed as the first director of the H. Lavery Stout Community College's Institute of Education, and BVI economic engagement continued in the Asia Pacific. All this when 284 News return.
So you're saying I can ask this cat any question?
The cat is connected to the computer. You just type in the question, it will read his mind. There the answer comes.
You're the man! I've been looking for this for weeks.
Brilliant Hands and Minds Tutoring Services, one-on-one tutorials in math and English, intense homework assistance, academic enrichment, school projects, effective communication and public speaking development, sign language for adults and children on Saturdays only. Registered with the Virgin Islands High School Certificate Program, Brilliant Hands and Minds can help you too. Offering intense curriculum-based training to help you or your loved ones get their high school diploma. It's time to make your family's education a #1 priority. Hurry, space is limited. Brilliant Hands and Minds Learning Center. We are the trained education professionals.
Well, welcome back, viewers. Well, Mrs. Sandy Harrigan-Underhill is the first director of the H. Lavity Stoutt Community College Institute of Education after recently being appointed to the position. But this was confirmed in a media release from the college dated Tuesday, January 11th. Well, it said that Mrs. Harrigan-Underhill in her new role will be working in sync with the Ministry of Education to advance their mandates as it relates to the education training needs in the territory. Where the release said, and I quote, "Well, the primary function of the Institute will be to work closely with the territory school, both public and private, through the Ministry of Education to obtain data that will inform decisions about the territory's education training needs." And it added, in her role as director, Mrs. Harrigan-Underhill will also serve as an ambassador for education training locally, regionally, and internationally. She will be responsible for garnering support for Institute that will build strong partnerships in advancing the vision of the Institute and lead the facilitation of training in education that is research-driven, innovative, and reflects current best practices in education, end quote. Well, speaking on her appointment, she said, and I quote, "An important part of my role as director is to ensure that the goals of the Education Institute align with the current standards established by CARICOM Standards for Teaching Profession, the OECS Education Sector Strategy, and UNESCO Strategy on Teaching. As we strive to create a world-class education system with the highest qualified educators, the Institute will ensure that regional and global standards are recognized as our benchmark in achieving our vision of excellence," end quote. Well, viewers, also speaking on the appointment was President of the college, Dr. Richard Georges, who referred to the new director as the perfect fit for the job. Well, he said, and I quote, "I'm delighted to welcome Mrs. Harrigan-Underhill to HLSCC. She is an outstanding choice as the first director of our new Institute of Education, bringing a wealth of experience from leadership roles at the territory's largest secondary school and experience in the sector both local and internationally. In addition to her educational training and experience, her background in law and organizational management, as well as a proven track record of leadership, will support both the college and the teaching service in our work to improve lives through education," end quote. Mrs. Harrigan-Underhill has more than 27 years of experience in education and in 10 years of experience in progressive leadership positions, while she has experience with business change management consulting, to include policy implementation, human capital, and systems development. In addition, she is highly experienced in the curriculum planning and development as well as instruction at various levels, including tertiary. Prior to her appointment as director, Mrs. Harrigan-Underhill served as the principal for the Elmore Stout High School from 2014 to 2019. Ron, this is obviously great news for the territory. We have yet another female in a powerful role leading in such a powerful institute, the Institute of Education, which is very critical to the further development of education here in the BVI.
And a Virgin Islander at that. We want to take this opportunity to wish Ms. Underhill the very best as she executes her duties within this new role. Viewers, closing out on the local scene in the British Virgin Islands enters 2022 poised for another year of successful engagement with Asia's financial markets and regional partners, led of course by the efforts of the Virgin Islands Government Regional Office in Hong Kong. Now throughout 2021, the territory built on its 30-year relationships in finance and financial services through the ongoing stakeholder engagement in the form of varying conferences and forums. Given the travel and social distancing limitations imposed by the ongoing COVID-19 global pandemic, the Hong Kong office staff participated in all events virtually, representing the interest of the territory of the Virgin Islands across the Asia Pacific. Now, meaningful discussions were held at the 4th Belt and Road Conference hosted by the Law Society of Hong Kong. BVI financial products have featured in China's Belt and Road Initiative, China's International Infrastructure Development Program for developing countries in tandem with Hong Kong and Singapore entities. The Law Society discussion centered really and truly on the role of regional and international law and of course supporting the ongoing execution and expansion of the program. BVI explored how its product alignment with Hong Kong and Singapore supported essentially the legal foundations of the program via BVI's access to the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court and UK Privy Council. Now, viewers, the high-profile event featured keynote addresses by Hong Kong's Secretary for Justice, Ms. Teresa Cheng, CS and Commissioner of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the People's Republic of China in Hong Kong, Mr. Lu Guana. BVI engagement continued at the annual STEP Asia 2021 conference hosted in Singapore. The four-day event traditionally focuses on issues impacting high net worth families as well as trust and estate practitioners. Special focus was given to the current and future impacts of the ongoing pandemic on regional and global finance within the conference's open forums. The BVI maintained a dialogue on how the territory could essentially continue to meet the needs of Asia-Pacific markets given the expected longer-term duration of this pandemic. Now, BVI's financial services model was really touted as an ally and well able to evolve the changing public health and financial conditions both regionally and internationally. Of course, in parallel, the Hong Kong office participated in the third installment of the China-United States conference hosted by the South China Morning Post. The conference focused primarily on how the dynamics of China-U.S. relations impact the financial markets, services, banking, and international business within the region. The discussions provided viewers greater clarity on strategies for essentially navigating the current business environment in a manner that the facilities the greater expansion of BVI's financial services offering in the Asia-Pacific region. Kamal, great news as the BVI economic engagement continues strategically, of course, with the Asia-Pacific office. We are well represented within that demographic, and I think the team at the Asia office, Hong Kong office, should be commended for their really skillful and diligent work in representing the territory of the Virgin Islands.
I totally agree. And viewers, just before we go, we want to give you somewhat of an update on the territory's latest COVID-19 statistics, where a bulletin from January 11th was released 6 p.m. January 11th now states that the COVID-19 cases in the BVI has once again increased now to 1,387 active cases. Well, of that sum, 1,094 are on the island of Tortola, 232 on the island of Virgin Gorda, 4 on Yos Van Dyke, 57 on Anegada. Viewers, 57 on Anegada as the numbers continue to climb. Well, an analysis of that active case number states that some 730 are active local cases, 533 somewhat of a contacts of local cases, 46 are from travel screening, and 74 from entry screening day 0. And we also see 4 from entry screening day 7. And the territory's latest statistics when it comes to hospitalizations remain at 16. We also want to take a look, viewers, at the vaccination rates. We see some 17,119 persons totally or fully vaccinated, and that number has steadily been around that 17 to 16,000 mark for some long time now. We are seeing a total of 18,653 persons, both fully and partially vaccinated, with the partially vaccinated being some 1,534 persons wrong. We see the numbers continue to climb, but as we did say, we see the ministry and the minister stating, everyone is focused on the increase, but no one is focusing on the recoveries.
I was just going to ask you, what is the recovery figure that was given in that press release?
Well, according to this release, they only had 68 recoveries.
Okay.
But 68 is better than none at all. So
of course.
We see somewhat of a recovery, and I'm sure as the weeks go by, as persons have to be tested at the end of their quarantine stage, this number will significantly increase.
In recoveries. Beautiful.
Yes.
We continue to wish residents and friends of the Virgin Islands the safest as we maneuver through these very difficult times. Viewers, that is it for today's content. We thank you so much for tuning in. Of course, as we greet you with local, regional, and international content, we are 284 News, here delivering honest and impartial news. It's always a pleasure. Happy Wednesday. I'm Ron Grant.
And viewers, I'm Kamal Haynes, and thank you for sticking out with us, and we'll see you again tomorrow.
Bye-bye.